Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton. Dr. Donald Morton is an award-winning social entrepreneur known for his innovative social solutions.
Based on this fatherhood and manhood issue in droves, in incredibly large numbers. And I felt it necessary for someone to have a voice like yourself to do the work of restoring men in our society. And I've been doing that work ever since.
His latest solution is expressed as the CEO of Remand.
So Remand, the nonprofit, is about helping brothers that are coming out of prison, brothers that are dealing with child support, brothers that are the most marginalized of our communities, helping them with their character and the institutions that impact them. And then the LLC, our for-profit arm, is really attempting to address the CEOs and CFOs and entrepreneurs and people like that say, look, I got issues too as a black man. My issues are a bit different because I'm in the C-suite. And how it plays out in the C-suite is very different than how it plays out on the block and those brothers that are coming out of re-entry. But here's a deal. All of us the same, for real, for real.
Dr. Morton is the former executive director of the Complexities of Color Coalition. As executive director of the coalition, he worked to congregate Wilmington, Delaware's African American community in order to create comprehensive strategy to influence institutions, policies, and laws. Dr. Morton has over 25 years of experience in African American community leadership. Remand is deeply personal. While he's glad that thousands of men are on this journey with him, it was started because he needed liberation. He was broken and bound, and he was fighting to put his life back together after divorce, infidelity, business challenges, bankruptcy, and a life destroyed by being the worst liar ever. Yes, Dr. Morton was a liar until he faced himself and proved his signature science, the character arc. Then and only then was he ready to lead men to learn and live the science of being remanded.
What's up, y'all? Good afternoon to you. I am Donald Morton, Chief Visionary Officer of Remand. And at Remand, we help Black businessmen who have families break the vicious cycles of missed potential so that they master life, leadership, and legacy. I am excited to be with you today. Also excited to have my dude on. Driving, I'm assuming, back from church.
No church today. Just left it.
Oh, no church today. What did you just do?
Just lifted. Just left the gym just now.
Oh, just left the gym. Well, keep towards your goal, little puppy. You will one day get this body that I have. You just got to keep working hard at it. So I want to say good. Okay, yeah, you breaking up real bad. So good afternoon to everybody. Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. will be with us shortly. He is running a bit behind. And so we are going to have a conversation today and have a good time today, just kind of dealing with some things that we really just need to address. Coach, how's your weekend been? Oh, it looks like he popped out a bit. He's probably in the backwoods somewhere. So I'm having a good weekend for those of you that kind of keep up with Lala and I. What's up, Kelly Little? Good to see you, man. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let me add Coach to the stage there and remove Coach from the stage there. Okay.
That's weird. That's straight failed. That was
Peace
weird.
and blessings. Yeah, man. You there you go. It looks like you're a
We
little
said, yeah,
clear now. Peace and blessings, Kelly Little. Good to see you,
there
bro.
we go.
Those of you that are watching, do me a favor and invite some people to the conversation today. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms that are out there. I will continue to say, look, if your mom is still with you, cherish her, respect her, honor her, love her. You only get one.
Hmm.
And, oftentimes we can take moms and dads, but today moms for granted, right? Like they're always going to be around, like they're always going to be present. And the truth of the matter is, um, yeah, she won't be. Ask me how I know. She won't be. She won't always be around. She will not always be here. Of course, yeah, I know, right? She'll always live in my heart and she'll always live in your heart and she's always I get all of that. I'm talking about physically, your mother will not always be here. And so while she is here, you ought to take advantage of that. Lay in her lap as many times as you can, laugh with her as many times as you can, kiss her as many times as you can, because there will come a day where you simply cannot do it. So I want to make sure that you do that today. And I don't just want to celebrate just the moms who do it well. My mom did it well. I want to celebrate the moms who are trying to figure it out, the young moms, right? That are trying to figure it out, don't do everything right. My mom didn't do everything right, uh, but she was the closest thing to Jesus I know. that chick,
I
that chick knew
like
Jesus,
that.
and
I
so
like that.
um, I'm just incredibly honored and excited. Hey, Coach, how's your weekend been so far, man?
This weekend has been great. I had a lodge meeting yesterday, consumed a lot of my day yesterday. But last week was phenomenal, bro. I had a busy week. Only added on two, a little bit short of my goal of three for new clients. But I have been hyper focused. I have three corporate events this week I got to do. One for the AKAs, one for Encompass Health, and one for the Cadia Rehabilitation Center.
Yeah,
So those are that's been my push these past few weeks. It's that time. A lot of folks have opportunities, and I've been being invited to these places. Like a lot of vendors and stuff got to pay to be a part. They want me to come do my thing because it's what I do, and I don't got to
yeah,
pay. So
yeah.
it's finally hitting that groove, and I'm getting more and more back. We talked a while back about the Delaware Black Chamber of Commerce, and
Hmm.
I've added on three new clients from the Delaware Black Chamber of Commerce by doing their event, and then them coming to the facility, seeing it for the free workout, and then signing up. So it's been coming right along, chugging right along, staying focused every day, hitting all my tasks, sending my 25 emails, making 25 phone calls. Those are the things I got to do every day.
I love it, man. Tell me, Coach, we don't often talk about this. Do so as much as you can or as little as you want.
Hmm.
The and we'll get into Mother's Day in just one moment and give you
Hmm.
an opportunity to shout out mom. My mom was a fan of Coach Walter Sellers. Yeah, yeah, I miss her too, Ron. I miss my mom as well. Um, Ron, hang out because this is going to be a very interesting kind of conversation. Um, but we don't often talk about your queen, man. And the truth
You're
of the
right.
matter is, well, all of the statistics say that
Hmm.
you know a man who is in business, successful men who are in business, have someone by their side, coach, you
Hmm.
know, uh, that kind of takes some of these blows. I'm enormously grateful. I was laying in bed today next to my wife, and you know, um, I'm grateful for her, right? Like there's a calm and a
Hmm.
fun and an enjoyment that my wife brings to my life. And I can literally say that who I am today and all that I intend to be, I will owe, in some part at least, to who my wife is to me. And
Hmm.
so, talk a bit about your wife, man, and all
Sure.
that she means to who you've become.
I don't. You're right. I don't often talk about her. I am my school of thought, mm, somewhat when it comes to my relationship with my wife is public in that we're married
Yeah,
publicly,
yeah,
private in that we keep the details of our marriage to us. A lot of folks you'll see on social media go out and vent their and air their dirty laundry out
yeah, yeah, yeah,
online, talk about
yeah,
the good, the bad with their friends and stuff. We made a commitment to each other to involve as few people as possible in our relationship
yeah,
because my first marriage failed because of outside friends to
yeah,
my ex-wife.
yeah, yeah,
Part of
yeah,
that
yeah.
I'll take on my own shoulders, but so I will talk about her, but only in a broad sense, just because that's just
Sure,
the nature of how
sure,
we promise to each other. But
sure.
I can 100% tell you with all certainty, with zero equivocation, uh, had it not been for Tracy Sellers in my life, I would not be where I am right now.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
Period. Full stop.
Yeah,
She is the one who threw me the lifeline when I lost all my money. Say, listen, Negro, get your shit together.
yeah, yeah,
And Michelle Obama to Barack Obama was interesting. They had a conversation recently. I saw, not recently, but maybe a few years back. They went to a rib shack or something like that in North Carolina, and it was someone that Michelle had dated before, and but he owned the rib shop, whatever. And they went in to go say hi, have ribs and stuff like that. And as they were leaving, Barack said, "Could you imagine that had been your life? Never being married to the president?" She was like, "Nah, Negro, that'd have been your life. I'd have still been married to the president."
yeah, yeah. He would be president.
So you would have been on the rib shack and he'd be
Yeah,
president.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so
yeah,
it hit me, right? It was like, eh, I damn sure wouldn't be where I am because Tracy, it, in every sense of the word, she is a supporter of me. It does not matter what the idea is, but now that she sees, when she saw that I had purpose and it was absolutely
mm,
positively what I'm here to do,
yeah,
it is zero pushback on anything. Like
yeah,
it's been a lot. Like when she was in school, it was hard, but I pushed her when she was in school because it's what she's good at. She's good
yeah,
at. She's the she's easily the smartest woman I've ever met.
yeah,
Easily,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
it, and her ability to retain information and recall conversations. Yeah, ain't no line around Tracy because nah, nigga, you said this. I was there. It was this
yeah,
degrees. It was on this day
yeah,
of the week. It was at
yeah,
4:53 p.m. You
yeah,
said this.
yeah,
So that raw accountability that I have to her is different than I have other places. So I can say without a doubt, if it was not for Dr. Tracy Sellers, there would be no Walter Q. Sellers, CEO of the Butterfly Effect. Maybe I'd be doing something else, but it damn sure wouldn't be this because
yeah,
what the challenges that we had manifested itself into this is where you're supposed to go. This is
yeah,
this is where it is. So yeah, I celebrate
yeah,
her. It's funny, when we first started dating, she never wanted to be a doctor. She wanted to go to school. She was done. She didn't want to go to school no more.
yeah.
But and I was still a young man when we met. We met. I was 28 when Tracy and I met. We were married for 14 years in a couple weeks. So
Wow.
yeah, 14 years. May 29th, 14 years. So when we were dating, I was still debating if I wanted to go work for the government for one of those three-letter agencies, and I'd been to like 5 interviews on the way to the sixth. And she was like, "Look, if you're gonna go do this, First of all, you can make no money because the top side of what they pay is like $90,000.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a filling job. If you're gonna do that, I need to get a real job. So she said, I'm gonna go back to school. I said, cool. If you get into school, I'll pay. Yeah. Well, she got into school and I paid. So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
now
yeah, yeah.
she's and that's been our support back and forth for each other. And it just kind of manifested and went forward through the car business, and now it's health and fitness for the state of Delaware, and looking forward to the nation and the world. And
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she
for
is
sure.
supportive. Like there's it's interesting, right? You see the stories of a lot of businesses and couples and stuff where they're invested at first. Okay, great, both people are there. Yeah, we're gonna do it. And then a minute, a little bit of trouble comes.
That's it,
See, I
bro.
told you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. I told you should just stayed at the safe job, stayed in the
That's it,
car. I
bro.
mean, you gotta look at. I don't know how it is for other folks, but in the car business, I was making 300 grand, 400
Yeah,
grand every year for 10
yeah,
years.
yeah.
This wasn't no like little flash in the pan. I'm a salesman, and when she was like, "You want to get out of the business and do what?" Okay, and it was perfect because when I got promoted to be the national sales trainer, and she was like, "Nah, you ain't gonna be traveling around the country 4 nights a week in a hotel. That ain't gonna happen."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, look, it's a job over here. Be a GM. We'll save some money while the pandemic is going on. You still can go to work, still do this, but." And I was like, I just don't want to work 20 hours a day for somebody else anymore. And we talked it out, and she was like, all right,
Mm,
look, you do that. I'll hold this down while you do that, but get it right.
yeah,
But get it
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
right. Don't,
yeah,
don't,
yeah,
don't
yeah,
don't
yeah,
be
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
out here just pretending. If you're gonna do it, do it.
Do it.
And
Yeah, yeah,
and
for
we
sure.
and we doing it. I haven't publicized this, but now's a good time to publicize. There is a building, small city, right next to where my gym is now, and
Hey,
that
Walt,
building
you're gonna
about
have to go back and say it again.
$600,000.
You're gonna have to go back and say it again because you're breaking up really badly.
Oh, hold on. I'm going in the house now, so we should be all right. All right.
Okay.
There's a
Yeah. So for
building
those
that's
of
for
you that
sale
are watching,
in
just
a
kind of
small
stay.
town.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me connect to the Wi-Fi. I'm walking in.
Okay.
All right, you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, there we go. Near where my gym is now, and it's listed for about $600,000.
Okay.
But there are grants in the amount of 1.2 mil
Okay.
to refurbish, rebuild it as long as it meets certain codes.
Okay.
So we put it in our sheet, and now we're going for 4 months to bring in a construction crew and a guy to come, see what it's going to cost to repair everything and line
Okay.
up everything so we can get every single grant to maximize the building. And if everything goes through, the building would cost me exactly $0.
And so you would move out of. We can talk about this offline.
Yeah,
So
I'm not
I
gonna move out
really
of it.
like
I'm gonna keep it. No, I keep it.
you gonna keep it.
That'll be the
Okay.
big one. Keep this one,
Okay.
and have it
Okay.
free and clear with the 10-year tax abatement. So it's
Okay.
all because part of it is knowing that my cheerleader is going to push me to make sure I'm
Mm-hmm.
going in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Okay. Looking forward to talking about that, man. Hey, listen, those of you that are watching today, I want to kind of leave with a scripture. Leroy will be with us when he gets here, but I want to honor everybody's time. And coach, there's a scripture I want to read, man. This is what it is for everybody to be able to read on your own. It's Psalm 139 verses 1-3. And it says this: "O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know my sitting down, you know my rising up." This is the important part. You understand my thoughts, right? You comprehend my path and my lying down. Hey, coach, I want to talk through this feeling that I'm having, right? On this Mother's Day, which for me, somebody, Brother Dwight said to me, um, he said, hey man, I know this is the first Mother's Day without your mom. And actually, it's my second one. It's my second one because my mom passed in February. So I immediately after the passing in February 2023, May hits me. So this is the first year cycle really that I've had, right? And people have continued to just kind of text me, make sure I'm good, hit me on Facebook, make sure I'm good. And here's what's crazy, Coach, right? Like this year I'm good. Like I'm not grieving, not tripping. Last year I was a wreck. Like last year I just laid in bed, right? During Mother's Day. I ain't say nothing. My wife loved up on me, but I didn't have it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have it. I didn't have anything to say to anyone. I was snappy. Like, somebody called me, say something crazy, and I'm like, man, how you think I feel? You know what I mean? It's just really, really not a good time. This year, hey Dawn, good to see you. Hey Ron, if I don't know where you are, black man, but if you're available, I'll send you the link so you can pop on. This year, Coach, I'm not grieving, right? So I before today's podcast, I kind of looked at the stages of grief, right? And I'm at that acceptance stage. Like mom's gone. And the truth is she wanted to leave. So when they told her what was going on, the doctor told her what was going on, she was like, okay. I was a wreck, right? She's like, okay. And I said, you know what I'm gonna do, right? Like the Bible says, I can lay on you and breathe on you and tell you to get up. She said, boy, as long as I've been wanting to see Jesus, leave me alone. When I'm out of here, I'm out of here, right? So I've come to terms with it. Like I've got friends, Mike Fisher, shout out to Mike Fisher. Mike Fisher, Pastor Michael JT Fisher is in Compton, California. He was here in Atlanta. I hung out with him and hung out with Ed Long Jr., hung out with Russ Kilpatrick, I think his last name is. Yeah, so I had people around me. Mike was able to share with me because his mom is gone as well, right? So he's been able to share with me. We talked some things through. And Coach, I miss mom. This is probably what I need to say, right? So I miss my mom, but I'm not grieving anymore. But here's what's crazy going on in my mind. I miss my you on your couch, unpack this if you smart, right? so I miss my mom, not grieving, but now I feel guilty for not grieving. Right? Like this thing is swirling in my mind where the enemy is telling me, boy, you should be grieving a little more. It only took you a year, that woman. And the truth of the matter is, I'm not grieving, not because I don't have moments of sadness. Of course, I have these pockets where I'll break and then I'll get myself together. Like it's an ugly cry in those moments, like right, and then I get myself together. But what's crazy is how the enemy, and I'm talking like this because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? It's crazy how the enemy will convince you that the stage of acceptance after a loved one leaves is not a stage you should actually ever get to. Right? It's a stage that you should avoid at all costs, that you should grieve for the rest of your life. And for my mom, because she wanted to leave, Like, what am I gonna say about that? Right. So that's number one. Here's number two, coach. I promised my mother during the last days of her life that I would do two things. One is fulfill my assignment, right? Do it what it is God's asked me to do. And secondly, live life to the fullest, right? So being in that space, in that stage where now I just want to honor what the woman asked me to do, right? But can you kind of talk about your mom is still there with you, so you've not lost your mom, but any loss that you've ever had, your dad or what have you, uh, whether you ever felt guilty for not grieving anymore. Like, did you ever feel like, oh, I'm a hard, like today I was like, boy, you a horrible person because I'm not grieving anymore, right? So I had to come in, I had to get my mind together, I had to really pray, seek God. I love my mom today, still today, like passionately love my mom. I have the greatest mother in the world. But I cannot spend the rest of my life grieving the fact that she is where she wants to be. And quite frankly, as cliched as it is, man, I'm turning it over to you now. As cliched as it is, she's doing much better than all of us are doing at this stage, right? So what is that thing, man, that is swirling around in my mind, attempting to make me feel guilty that I'm no longer grieving?
So, the
And while you're talking,
challenging
those of
part.
you that are in the chat, type it in the chat if you've ever experienced anything like that, right? You moved on with your life. My mom asked me to move on with my life when she was transitioning. That chick said, go home, boy, be with your wife. I'm like, you crazy. She said, boy, who you talking about?
Right.
I'm not, right?
You said the
But
45 under the pillow.
yeah. So go ahead, man. I apologize for interrupting.
No worries. So I my dad transitioned, 2009. It was tough. That's where I didn't figure out who what was, and I thought that I could drink away and gamble away the pain. I didn't face it then, but the guilty thing, I don't have, maybe because it never had a chance to manifest outside of gambling and drinking, right? Because when I became a Mason, a lot of the older brothers, when they transition, you go to a lot of funerals.
Yeah.
And living life to the fullest is something I strongly believe in. I really believe that I want the last check I write to bounce. I'm not trying to. Yeah, I've been to it. Listen, bro.
Wait. Oh, boy, that's bars. That's bars, man. Tell me what you mean by that. I think I know.
Here's what it is.
What you mean by that.
You told your mother you would live your life to the fullest, right?
Yeah.
Right. I have life insurance.
Yeah.
$500,000.
Yeah.
And my mortgage will be paid off, and there'll be no car payments. And I told Tracy, listen, take your time, grieve. But when I die before you, because the odds are high that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Use this money, go find somebody else, and be happy. Right? I don't want you sitting around being sad, being mad. I am obviously in a better place.
Yeah.
Right. I'm obviously somewhere where whatever it is I was battling, whether it was sickness, old age, whatever it was, I'm not experiencing that anymore.
Yeah.
And you can't be guilty that I died, because it ain't your fault. You can't be sad. So seeing all the brothers die and see or transition and see how in some cases stuff isn't left for the family to take care of and put in place. I ain't never seen a U-Haul hooked up to a hearse.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen a storage shed packed up next to a graveyard.
Yeah.
So all the stuff that you got is all the stuff you're going to get. So take advantage of it, live your life. They say, live life like there's no tomorrow, but prepare that you're going to live forever. That makes sense. I think it does. Right. So have fun, enjoy your life. Don't be foolish. Right? Be prepared, but you can't take it with you. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, so, and I think one of the things that I just really want to unpack, those of you that are watching, let us know where you're watching from. One of the things that I really want to unpack is the guilt I feel for moving on. Right? Like, because there is a subtle expectation Kelly Little says, beloved brother, I love what you're exploring. Your first journey is within, just like Coach Get Your Body Right. Both of you help people also go inside before they go outside. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I help people go inside before they go
Right.
outside. That's bars too, Kelly Little. Absolutely, man. So I'm really exploring why.
Watch this. Jesus gave us a path, though, Donald.
He
He
did,
gave
man.
us a
But
path.
I
He
think I
hung on the
think
cross. He
I
hung on the
think I
cross. Watch this. He hung
yeah.
on the cross and said, "Son, behold your mother. Mother, behold your son." Jesus knew he was checking out, right? He knew he was leaving.
Yeah.
So he set in place a mother for John because he needed one.
Yeah.
And he set in place a son for Mary because she needed one. I'd be willing to bet that your mother set something in place for that person that you need. Now,
Oh
how do
yeah.
I know this? Because I'm certain that there are certain qualities and certain things that are in Marla that are just like your mother.
For sure.
So she didn't leave you unprepared. She didn't leave you to grieve. She left you say,
Yeah, but
listen, it's
that's
all
not
in
the
place.
issue.
You all
That's not the
straight.
issue. That's not the issue. The issue is, yes, yes. So Lala has some qualities. I have a spiritual mom, so
Hmm.
yes, I have those things in place, right? I think what I'm really getting at though is that, and there are others like me who who feel like, Leroy, is that a collar you got on?
No, it's not a collar.
Does that look like a collar, coach?
That's a collar. I was about to ask the same question. You preaching today?
He got a Leroy, you got a collar on?
With just a regular bandy collar shirt under it. Very much.
Right. Hmm.
Okay, right. I mean, if that's your story, listen, we not
Okay.
gonna fight you today because that you got on a
Whatever.
whole robe. That's a robe.
No, it's a suit. It's a suit jacket. I don't have the pants anymore because I messed up the pants. But it's a
Waist
navy
got too
suit.
big. Waist got too big.
Oh no! I actually burned them on the arm, man. I burned and I messed them up. I was so mad because I love the look of these navy suits, and I had
Yeah.
two of them. The other one I don't know what I did to the other one because I had
I
this blue one and I had it was like a orange one that I
Oh,
had because I
wait.
worked at
Wait,
Stop,
wait, wait,
stop,
wait, wait,
stop,
wait. We can't go
stop,
down that
stop,
road,
stop. You
y'all.
no, it's
cannot
Listen,
get past an orange
we in the
suit,
coach, we
it's
in the
not
middle.
orange. Well,
We can't
it was like a
bruh.
brothers,
it was like
brothers, stop.
it's a
We can deal with
bronze. I
that
should say
later.
bronze.
We
I
can
should
deal
say
with that
bronze.
later. We in the middle of a whole session, right? So I want to make sure that we honor time because I got to be out of here in 27 minutes. So the question is, when I met with my therapist originally,
Hmm.
and I told him how I was feeling, this is what he said. He said, "So you're upset that your mom's gone?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "The only other option was for you to go first. That is out of order. The order is our parents go, then we go. That's the order, right?
Hmm.
What's up, Dwight? That's the order. And I'm willing to bet that because we live in a society like a part of what I think this is what it is, right? A part of what my mom, would you guys agree that everybody um grieves and goes through those stages of grief differently? You guys agree
Absolutely.
with that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think what it is, coach, I think what it is, Dr. McKenzie Jr., is this. My mother grieved my grandmother's transition literally until my mom died. Like the pain of my grandmother's transition was happening until my mom died. And so I don't know whether, Leroy, I was looking for my mom's process to be my process, right? That if my mom's process wasn't my process, I'm feeling guilty that I didn't grieve longer. But I will tell you unequivocally that there was a period, there's a level of guilt that I feel because, like this Mother's Day, I'm okay. Like I'm celebrating, like Leroy, you sent me a text to check on me, right? And I said, man, I'm okay. Like today I'm okay. But then it hit me, Leroy, nigga, why you okay? Like go cry somewhere. That literally was on my mind. Like go
Wow.
somewhere and cry. Go somewhere and feel bad. Have a bad day because that's what this day. That is the way that you honor a mom who has recently transitioned. I'm telling y'all that is what was going on in my mind, right? And so I said, let me talk it through with the brothers. Leroy, I don't know whether you ever, I don't know how long you grieved when your dad transitioned, right? But when you came to a place of acceptance, a place of peace with it all, did you at all feel guilty, when you finally accepted it? Was there a challenge with that in your own mind?
Now, for me, it wasn't a challenge at all because I don't know how many years it was before. We just had death after death in our family,
Mm,
and I remember coming back from my grandmother on my mom's side passing away, and my mom and I gone up to Detroit to the funeral and everything, and so my dad and I were having a conversation sometime later after I gotten back. And I remember us sitting on my couch at the time and us talking. I said, Dad, I said, I've come to this realization. I said,
mm.
we're either sitting on that front row or we're in the casket. I said, that's where all of us are heading.
Yes,
I
sir.
said, I'm a
Mhm.
cry, I'm a boo-hoo. I said, because you and mom are the ones that gave me life and brought me
Yeah,
here. I said,
yeah,
I'm a grieve when y'all gone. I said, I'm gonna do it. I said, but the what gave me comfort in all of this was one, I knew where he was going. I knew that he was going to be with his Lord, like he said with your mom.
yeah,
I knew where he was going,
yeah,
and that gave me solace. And truth be told, bruh, I was like, man, if I didn't have to go, we don't feel how we got to get there, but it's like, look, you're going to a better place than we are,
yeah,
because
yeah,
because
yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be at peace.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
for sure.
know, you're at peace. And so and I went through the roller coaster, bruh, when there were times that I was good, and all of
Yeah,
a sudden, boom, I'm just
yeah,
stuck balling for no reason.
yeah,
I mean, but
yeah.
that's, to me, that's the grieving process.
Process.
That's the
Yeah, yeah,
process of grieving.
sure, for
And
sure.
yeah, and I do, and I think about my dad all the time, and there are times where I hear him and I think about him. Shoot, I can't look in the mirror without thinking of him because I look just like him. So,
Really?
yeah, I look just like him. I'm going to show you the couple of pictures that I have. I
Okay,
look just like him.
okay,
Spitting image of this man.
okay.
I'm like, so when I see, I see myself, I see him, and I think about, I always have the memories of him. Same thing with my grandmothers too. I always think about them. They always, like, and like you said, as long as we say their name, as
Yeah,
long as we
yeah,
keep
yeah,
those
yeah.
memories
Hmm.
going, they
Absolutely,
live. They live on through us. And
absolutely.
that's the this crazy thing called life, the process called life that we do live in, man. But
Hmm.
yeah, it wasn't necessarily. I won't say that it wasn't hard. I grieved, and like I said, I still think of him, still love him, still feel the same, and everything like that. I don't, but feeling guilty for not, you know, for feeling the way. Nah, man.
Yeah, man.
I come to that
It
realization
hit
years
me.
ago.
It hit
Yeah,
me, and I had to really do something about it. Like it because the sense that someone must live, coach, in a perpetual feeling of loss. is somehow noble
Right.
was what I was really thinking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, bruh, she ain't been gone but a year and some change, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should still be in the floor. And
Yeah.
I'm not. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
obviously, like Leroy said, like you have said, I miss her. There are days that I trip
Yeah.
and then I catch myself and I'm like, right. But she was such a phenomenal mom. And I think, Coach, if I had not known that she wanted to leave, it would be
Mm.
like if I die tomorrow, y'all tell everybody I didn't want to leave. Yeah,
I
yeah,
did not want to go. I
So,
did not want to
I,
go.
I did not want to go. Right? Yeah, that this was not God needing a rose or ain't no. I did not want to. No, I'm not ready. Right? Right? but Coach, this, and I'm glad I have you brothers to be able to help me laugh through it. And I've got Kelly Little and others who understand this space. Like I got up this morning, it's like it's Mother's Day. Said happy Mother's Day to my lovely wife, and
Mm-hmm.
text my family like happy Mother's Day, y'all, all that. And then it hit me, the enemy, your mama here, get in that floor and cry. Get in that
Mm-hmm.
floor and roll around to prove to everybody that you miss
Mm-hmm.
your mom. You understand, Coach? Talk,
mm-hmm.
talk, talk. Let me do what you're doing. Let me lay on the couch and let you talk to me, so I can get through this guilty
Well, let
feeling,
me see
man.
if I can put this. Put this. You got to put this bicep in there. There you go.
Ah, boy.
so,
Coach ain't
so look,
right.
so look.
Coach
Here's the
is
thing,
not
right?
right.
It's what happens a lot of times is we allow the grief to become who we are, and we attach our self identity and worth to
Bars.
the fact that we're grieving, right?
Slow down. That's so good. That's so true. Give it to me again.
You know,
Give it
we
to me
we
one
we
more
we
time.
have a tendency to attach who we are to that grief. I have a close
Mm.
friend of our family who lost their mother when she was a young girl, maybe 9 or 13, or young girl. She's 30 something now. But her entire being life is about I lost my mom when I was young. So
Mm.
everything she does, even now as an adult, is, oh, I lost my mom when I was young, so feel sorry for me, feel bad for me. At some point in time, eventually, you have to let the dead be dead, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Yeah.
and we're not talking about forget their legacy, forget who they were to you, forget
yeah,
how important they are, and the parts that they poured into you, but we have to also accept the fact that they want us to have lived. I mean, you said it just now, is it
yeah,
should be parents pass first, then the kids,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes they pass sooner than we want,
yeah,
but it does not mean that it was in vain. It does not mean the lessons they taught us to the life they lived was in vain. It just means that we are in a different season without them physically speaking, but they're
yeah,
still around spiritually speaking, at least
yeah,
according to our
yeah,
faith.
yeah,
And we have to take that and use that for us. Take their life, their legacy, their everything, and use those things, for us. Are there days when I'm sad? Do I miss my dad? Absolutely. Are there days that I wish I could call up my dad, and like, yo, what's going on, old man? This is what's happening. What you think? And
Mm-hmm.
having it's maybe I can say this right. Having an unbiased but selfish perspective, right? My dad would always shoot me straight. He does say, listen to what you're saying. It's X, but
yeah.
you're my son. So you're gonna do something. I'm gonna have your back, but it's fucked up, or it's the right thing to do, or you understand what I mean?
Right, 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 right,
so
right,
so
right.
it's yes. Do I miss that guidance? Of course, right? But because I had that guidance for a short time or as long time, however you want to decide it is, that I had it, I'm still able to draw on those experiences and say, all right, if I talk to my dad, based on all the things we talked about that I know, he probably would say X. So let me examine
Yeah,
X,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and take that as a perspective,
yeah,
But Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to know that I have brothers now who are shoulder to shoulder with me, who I can give that same question or ask for
Yeah,
help to, that is
yeah,
going to give me that same that
yeah,
same advice. I know that there are things that probably aren't going to make me great, but if I talk to Donald, like, he's going
yeah,
to say, "Listen, Walter, this is fucked up,
yeah,
but I got your back.
yeah,
Ride with it, see what happens."
yeah, yeah,
I wouldn't do it that way, but
yeah,
so it's never going to be the same without them,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the expectations that they still have on your life are still there, right? And that's the commitment and the
Oh,
accountability that you have
ooh,
to them.
boy,
So
you don't need to go to church no more. Because when you don't go to church, when you don't go to church, God speak to you. That the expectations that they have of our lives are still there.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's so true. Like a part of what did nudge me, Leroy, toward being able to cuss the devil out, right? Like, are you kidding? I'm not gonna get in the floor and roll around and cry. I'm not doing that, right? My mom, when she was transitioning, would tell me, go home. I said, Mom, I'm not going home. She said, you are building a new family and marriage. Go home.
Hmm.
And we fought every day, like, no, ma'am. Right. And I remember one
Mhm.
day she said to me, this is the importance of doing what Leroy talks about all the time, functioning by the PVS, right? That honor, that code that you have, because my code wouldn't allow me to leave. And I
Mhm.
remember one day she pulled me in the
Mhm,
room
mhm,
and with tears in her eyes, she said, I'm so happy you're here. I said, Precious, I wouldn't be,
mhm,
where else would I be? Like, you my baby, right? I've got
mhm,
pictures of me giving her medicine, morphine, last days of her life, right? That I can feel honored to know I took care of my mother until her last breath, literally held her hand while she took her last breath, right? So, so, so when you have done all, like when you've done what you were supposed to do, right? When you gave your all, when you left it all out on the floor, there's nothing to feel guilty about. But I was, I'm doing exactly what the expectations. You got to send me that in the text, bro, because
Mhm.
that's my answer. The expectations that my
mhm.
mom had of me are still there. They're
Yeah,
still
Mhm.
there.
yeah.
One
And that's
expectation was, I'm coming to you right now, Leroy. One expectation was she would tell her friends, my son is here taking care of me from Atlanta, and
mhm,
he's got $1 million business. I can't let that fall. I got to honor that, right? That and the fact that she said, son, if you ever help men get together, everybody knows my mom shattered glass ceilings for women,
Mhm.
but she would always maintain, son, if you ever help men get together, then and only then will our society be better, right? And then when she said, go home, take care of your wife, go home, take care of your wife, right? So those three things are those expectations. Coach, if you was near me, I'll punch you right in the mouth. That is so good, right? The those expectations are still present. And so now I live my life to honor that, to live a
Mhm.
fulfilled life, to enjoy my life, to enjoy my wife, to handle my business, and to fulfill my call. There. So this is what those, and Leroy, I'm coming to you right now, man. This, for those brothers that are not in Remand, this is what Remand does. There, if those of you that don't remember, it was several months ago that I coached Coach here on a live, right?
It was on the week though. It was like a
Today,
Thursday or
yeah,
Tuesday, Monday or something. Yeah.
yeah. Today, coach me, right? God gave him what I needed because I came to this call guilty as hell. Like if y'all didn't say something, Leroy, I'm coming to you right now, bro. If y'all didn't say something, I was gonna get in the floor and roll around and cry. ahead, Leroy. I'm listening to you, man.
Oh man, that is such that it. As soon as you said that, it just it goes to what I always say about the pitcher in the glass. Sometimes with a pitcher and we pour into, and sometimes with a glass where we need to get poured into,
Yeah,
and having that concept. But coach, you said something really powerful that the expectation is all stays there.
hey, Crystal
My
Fender
dad,
Spark.
my dad passed away on June 1st of 2012. And I remember my sister calling me. She's like, "Hey, are you sitting down?" I was like, "Nah." And I was at work at the time. I was like, "Nah, man, I'm at work. What's up?" She said, "Well," she said, "Dad has passed." I had a speaking engagement the next day in Philadelphia that I had to go to. And I could have easily called them up, said my dad passed, and they wouldn't have had a problem with it at all.
Absolutely.
I know they wouldn't have. But I know the way that my dad is.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Boy, you better go handle your business. Do what you need to do. Yeah, I'm good. I'm all right. But I need you to go handle." That was the expectation that I
Wow.
had
Wow.
of hearing him go and do it, because this is a man that told his players, because he was a football coach, basketball coach, and everything. Especially with back, he would run his players to death. He was like, "If you gotta go run, if you gotta throw up, go throw up. You come back out here and you run again." That was him. That was the expectation. It was like, no, that was Leroy McKenzie
Yeah,
Senior.
yeah, yeah,
So I
Mm-hmm.
had that same expectation when it came to that. I didn't even question about going. It was like, I'm still going, because I know that's what he would want me to do. He was like, "Nah, dude, you need to you better go on up there, handle your business, do what you need to do, and then you can come back and you can grieve and all of those other things. But I need you to do this and hey, handle it." So yeah, those expectations, man, they don't leave us. They
yeah,
don't leave us with us being and becoming who we're supposed to become. That's what
yeah,
when we go
Mm-hmm.
through things, when I go through things, I'm like, nah, y'all, yeah. I know if I can withstand the things that I know that he's had me to endure and stuff like that, yeah, yeah. My expectation is a lot higher,
yeah.
you know. So
And I'm
absolutely, man. So
sure your
thank you for that, coach.
expectations of your kids are the same, right? Like, so when we talk about, your children, Leroy, right? Like you, your expectations.
Yeah, yeah, all 20 of them.
Yep.
Or 20 or 20 of your children, right?
Don't get on
Um,
ancestry.com, Leroy. Do not get on
yeah,
ancestry.com.
yeah,
I'm just
do
letting you
not.
know, bruh. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Because let me tell you what you're gonna find out. There, Leroy seems to be the kind of brother where one of his children is white. One of his,
His name is
one
Jonathan. Hey, my name is Jonathan John. Jonathan Earl McKenzie.
I remember sitting, hey, Coach, I remember sitting at my mom's gravesite because during the funeral, Leroy, they didn't, when they went to the gravesite I didn't go.
Mm,
Okay.
I was real clear, like she ain't there.
mhm.
So I'm not going, right? Later on, I felt a need to go. It was some sense of closure, right? So my big sister Janesta took me there, and we just sat there by the gravesite and just kind of laughed and cried and all of that, right? And what this moment reminds me of is one of the things that my mom was known for. If you knew my mom, you would know that she was the biggest clown. Like, she loved to laugh, right? And so it was one of the her signature personality, part of her signature personality, right? She could bring calm to a room through a small joke. She would funeralize and break the feeling through a small joke, right? She was very personable. And so one of the things that I appreciate about you brothers is the ability to laugh with y'all. And Leroy came on. We can get back to the fact that Leroy came on with his preacher's robe on. He got a collar on. He got a collar on. He's been called. This is what happens when your pastor's son takes over the church and you think you next in line. You think you next in line.
No, sir. No, sir.
Leroy said, if I show up at church in a robe, somebody gonna know that I've been called.
That's gonna be a good we should have that conversation later on one day. Talk about the pastors and then the pastor's sons who take over afterwards. Is that the right thing to do? We should have that conversation one day.
Well,
yeah, because some of them don't need to do it. Some of them don't need to do it.
I know. I seen it.
Some of them don't need to do it. But speaking as someone who did that, I will tell you that even the ones that are prepared to do it shouldn't do it, particularly if there is such an iconic figure that you're following and the church ain't ready to follow someone else. It will not work. It just will not work, right? So
we should talk about that.
Yeah,
that'd be a good conversation one day.
We can talk about that. I feel a little triggered. I start ticking. Right.
Get that little tick.
Yeah.
Just mind your business. Just mind your business. Listen. We all have seen the episode of Fresh Prince. Just mind your business. You know, that is something that is uniquely Black, though, right? Like no other part of society has that ability to do something so small, like the little tick. It nowhere came from. It came from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Ashley was getting bullied in school. Like this. What else is there? That didn't happen on Friends. That didn't happen on Seinfeld. This is all part of us.
Right.
This is what's uniquely the Black experience in America, man. We have such a unique culture, such a unique thing. Like I don't think that any other places do they have the types of conversations that we have. Right. Yeah. You know, you being open and transparent about what you're feeling right now. I mean, I look at a lot of different content and obviously watch TV growing up. There's nothing that is this brutally honest and transparent about family life, manhood in particular, you know. And so I am deeply appreciative of having this space for just us on a day-to-day basis. You know, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
It is pretty dope, man. And having you a part of that space, a part of this space, and having Leroy a part of this space, and having Dwight a part of this space. Ron Handy, he was an assistant minister pastor to me, and so he just wrote. I was there. Yeah, he was there through it all. Right. And a part of my PVS is transparency, right? Like it is my superpower. We are going through, Remand is going through a level of rebranding right now. And one of the things that it says is that one of the engaging things about Donald Morton is that I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be brutally honest. It is going to be what it is, right? Because Leroy, let me ask you this before we go, man. Where's the other podcast, Leroy? The Cotton Candy podcast. Where's that one?
Hey, bro, is 4 blocks down. Make a left and look for the green awning. It's right there. I said it last night on the interview I did. The Cotton Candy podcast. No, that's not what we do here. That is not what we do. We are, as you said, We're brutally honest. We
Yeah,
are
absolutely.
transparent. We
Absolutely.
we are going to hold each other accountable. We are going to sharpen each other. We're going to be there for each other. That we're going to talk about those issues that brothers need to talk about. Not that
Yeah,
you might not want to talk about, that you
yeah,
need to talk about,
yeah,
because that's the only way that we move forward in anything we do, man.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
Let me see.
y'all can go down the street, around the corner for all that, all the other stuff.
I'm gonna give Coach. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds, Leroy. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. I'm gonna take 30 seconds, and we're gonna play the last the video. I want you to give me 30 seconds of what you think about this scripture. You've searched me and known me. You've known my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thoughts afar off. And here's why that scripture is important. I think I'm gonna go first, and then I'm gonna give it to Coach. Then I'm gonna give it to Leroy. Then we'll get out of here. What helps me in this moment is God would use you, Leroy. He would use Coach Walter to speak to me, to help me understand he knows my thoughts. Like he knows my heart. And as much as I wouldn't like to admit it, the truth is me feeling guilty is based on a residue of people pleasing. Because undoubtedly there's always someone who says, he got over that a little too quick, right? But here's my answer. God understands my thoughts and heart afar off. He knows me, right? And I don't have anything to prove to anyone. My relationship with God, God knows there's nobody like Aretha Morton as my baby. And so I'm really excited. Coach, give me 30 seconds, man, and then Leroy, you take the final 30 seconds, and then I'll play the video. We're out of here.
Let's say, tell us that there is no new thing under the sun. So the grief that you feel and guilt that you feel ain't new to anybody, right? And having a group of people who have experienced similar things can help strengthen you and sharpen your iron.
Yeah,
And that's what we offer to each other. We
yeah,
offer that even as we speak. That's why we're in place with each other, shoulder to shoulder. We may have experienced it in different ways. And my mother is still here, but like I said, my father's transitioned. So
yeah,
while the relationship between a father and a son is different than the father and the mother, or son and the mother, I think that the grief is still the same.
yeah,
Right.
sure.
The pain and disconnection from the physical thing is still the same. So it is important that we lean on each other and know that nothing's new. So God knew what was going to happen.
Yeah,
And he knew why we were going to be in each other's lives. And we knew
yeah,
that we would need each other in different ways. So he gave us all what we needed when we needed it and how we needed it.
absolutely.
Just how we got here is different.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
we know Leroy came in and had that red solo cup this morning, but he made it. We know why he was late. He had the collar on, which kind of conflicted me,
Yeah.
but he knew that we all needed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like the red cup and a collar, like that's a whole
And the pink mug.
Hey,
And the
hey,
pink
hey,
mug.
let's not
Bruh.
act like that don't happen in the church. Let's not act like that don't happen in the church for real, for real. You know, so because we know it's some folks that be on the side of the church puffing in the
Absolutely.
service. So
Absolutely. Go ahead, Leroy. You're up, man, and then
uh,
tell us
I
to be going,
just
and then
real quick,
I'll
man.
put this up.
He knows our thoughts before we know our thoughts. He knew you were gonna be feeling the way that he knew that the adversary was going to be trying to attempt to get in your thoughts and your beliefs today. So he put in place already the ability for what coach said, what I might have said, that gave you solace for, okay, I'm all right. I'm not going to allow myself to be able to go there. And we wouldn't allow you to be able to go there.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about that too, even if you decided to go there and get on the floor and to cry and mourn, as long as you did it for a minute, that's you. That's cool.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Mourn her. You know,
Yeah.
grieve her. Understand? Yeah, I miss you today, mama.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, that's the case. Those are feelings. But as long as you don't stay there,
Yeah.
that's the key. Is not staying there. And he
Yeah.
knows all of our thoughts and how we were gonna feel and how we go through these days like this and how to be able to get through them. Because and his thoughts are far beyond our thoughts.
Yeah.
So he already prepared for this day for you. Because he already knew you were gonna have it.
For sure.
And so yeah, man, that's part of just the grace of God, how wonderful he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just how wonderful and beautiful
For sure.
he is,
Hmm.
and mindful he is of us, you
For
know.
sure. And so let me just finally say that there are so many brothers who are in the grave because they don't have emotional intelligence.
Yeah,
They don't have the awareness to honor their feelings. They don't have the awareness to express their feelings, right? Control their responses to their feelings. So they are
mhm,
walking time bombs, ticking
yeah,
time bombs, high blood pressure, weed, alcohol, drugs. All of these things are byproducts of a man who has not learned emotional intelligence. So, me getting on the floor and rolling around and honoring that, if that's what it was, I would do that. What I want to make sure brothers don't do is feel the pressure of manufacturing something that doesn't exist for the sake
of course,
of impressing someone else or making someone else, making yourself seem to be something that you're not. There's not going to be a day in my life where I don't miss my mom. Not one. There won't be a day in my life where I don't miss my mom. But I'm not grieving. She with the Lord. And I remember when if my niece were on here, she would tell you, uh, my mom did her best to prepare us, Walt.
Hmm.
Son, now I'm not gonna be here. Like, I'm like, man, ain't nobody talking about that. Like, she did her best. And my mom would have this thing, y'all, where she would say, all right, like you the most hard-headed child I got. Like, right. Um, so I don't have to grieve anymore. I mean, the scripture says we don't grieve like those that have no hope. I'm clear about where Aretha, Elva, Nadine, Adams, Jackson, Morton is. I'm clear, right? And I'll see her. My dad says, "Hey Don," when I told my dad, this is how a good spiritual father is. I called him. I say, Dad, mom's gone. He said, "Praise God."
mhm,
I'm like, Dad. He's like, she out of that body, Don. She ain't got to deal with that body no more. She ain't got to deal with that sickness no more. She ain't got to feel that pain no more. He said, you can handle praise God. There's somebody else that would fall apart because I said that, but you can handle praise God. And he said, never forget this, bro. Hey, Don, she's not in your past. She's in your future. Your mom's in your future, right? And so
Hmm.
for every one of us that are watching today, if you got your mom here, cherish her. Take care of her. I would go as far as to say what Leroy said. If I needed to roll around in the floor for a period, it's okay.
mhm,
If you had odds with your mom, it's okay for a period, and then get over it as your mom,
yeah,
right? Because there'll come a day where you can make it right. Kind of is what it is. Um, so honor your feelings. If you've experienced transition of your mom, honor your feelings, whatever they are in the moment. Honor them. Be aware of them. Honor them, and then weaponize them for good. Right? Weaponize them for good. Your emotions, when used properly, are the greatest weapons you have. right? So I want to thank you, brothers, for hanging out with me. Coach, what would you say to Leroy in closing about his priestly attire? Is there anything you would
I
like to
would
say?
say get the oil so we can anoint them. Speak in tongues. Give him some tongue speaking. It'll be all right.
Yo, yeah, listen.
I love y'all, brothers.
All right, fam.
Oh,
See y'all later. Peace.
later.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton. Dr. Donald Morton is an award-winning social entrepreneur known for his innovative social solutions.
Based on this fatherhood and manhood issue in droves, in incredibly large numbers. And I felt it necessary for someone to have a voice like yourself to do the work of restoring men in our society. And I've been doing that work ever since.
His latest solution is expressed as the CEO of Remand.
So Remand, the nonprofit, is about helping brothers that are coming out of prison, brothers that are dealing with child support, brothers that are the most marginalized of our communities, helping them with their character and the institutions that impact them. And then the LLC, our for-profit arm, is really attempting to address the CEOs and CFOs and entrepreneurs and people like that say, look, I got issues too as a Black man. My issues are a bit different because I'm in the C-suite. And how it plays out in the C-suite is very different than how it plays out on the block and those brothers that are coming out of re-entry. But here's the deal. All of us the same, for real, for real.
Dr. Morton is the former executive director of the Complexities of Color Coalition. As executive director of the coalition, he worked to congregate Wilmington, Delaware's African American community in order to create comprehensive strategy to influence institutions, policies, and laws. Dr. Morton has over 25 years of experience in African American community leadership. Remand is deeply personal. While he's glad that thousands of men are on this journey with him, it was started because he needed liberation. He was broken and bound, and he was fighting to put his life back together after divorce, infidelity, business challenges, bankruptcy, and a life destroyed by being the worst liar ever. Yes, Dr. Morton was a liar until he faced himself and proved his signature science, the character arc. Then and only then was he ready to lead men to learn and live the science of being remanded.